Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, of course this had to happen. It is within the natural sequence of events, and you can expect several other instances of this happening in different jurisdictions internationally. But as the opening salvo, guys, I bring you this. President Buhari, Buratai, dragged to court over Lekki shooting. So of course this had to happen, and I'm glad that is happening this very quickly. So the opening battle line has been drawn now against Buhari and the cabals, as again President Buhari, Buratai, dragged to court over Lekki shooting. So now let's now see how this opening stanza plays out. President Muhammadu Buhari and the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, have been sued over the shooting of #N10 protesters at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos last Tuesday. In a 10 billion suit filed before the Federal High Court in Lagos, a lawyer, Olukoya Ogungbeje, said he is suing President Buhari, Buratai, and 10 others for violating the fundamental human rights of the protesters. Also joined as defendants in the suit are the federal government, the Nigerian Army, Chief of Defense Staff, Inspector General of Police, Nigeria Police Force. Others are State Security Service, Director General SSS, Lagos State Government, Attorney General of Lagos State, and the Attorney General of the Federation. The lawyer is urging the court to compel the defendants to immediately pay 10 billion naira compensation to all the victims of the mindless shooting and brutal killing at Lekki toll gate. According to the suit, the lawyer is asking the court to declare as illegal, undemocratic, oppressive, and unconstitutional the brutal shooting and use of brute force against unarmed, defenseless, and peaceful #NSAS protesters on October 20, 2020 at the Lekki toll gate. Ogungbeje is also urging the court to make an order compelling the immediate prosecution of all culpable security agents, soldiers, and persons directly or indirectly or remotely involved in the dastardly shooting and killings of the protesters. He noted that the action of the Nigerian Army violated the protesters' constitutional right to life, fair hearing, right to peaceful assembly and association guaranteed under the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So here you have it now. This chap now has gone to law. Of course, he's just clout chasing, because a lot of this lawsuit, by the way, and first, well done, but I'm not saying well done to this guy entirely, but I'm saying well done to the lawsuit itself. But this guy has instituted his lawsuit only to flash his name up within the Nigerian space, and especially amongst his legal colleagues. So this is an opportunist lawsuit, because of course it's first to the finishing line in terms of who gets to file a case against the government first. So the lawyers have been compiling, and this guy has moved first. So a publicity stunt to flash his name up is how I am seeing what this fella has done. I can't even recall his name, but I'm sure his name will be remembered soon enough. So the opening salvo, of course, is what has been fired now. So now this opening salvo now is just the first in a series of lawsuits that will be instituted in terms of what happened at Lekki toll gate. Because of course anybody following the narrative would or almost immediately be aware that Femi Falana is already compiling an evidential portfolio to present in an international scene. And to present it to an international scene would not catch that international scene off guard, because the ICC, which is the International Criminal Court, has already put a tweet out there on Twitter that they are monitoring the events as it pertains to Lekki toll gate, and they are already gathering evidence at the International Criminal Court in preparation for a position on Lekki toll gate. So, as I said, this is the opening salvo now. This lawsuit that whoever he is, this opportunist lawyer has filed against the Nigerian state is just the first in a series of lawsuits that will come off the back of that mindless act that we saw from the Buhari regime at the Lekki toll gate. So this lawsuit has come, and then lawsuits of all the people as the names start to come out, because even though they've carried off all the bodies, the army, after they've done what they wanted to do, they've carried off all the bodies to go and you just keep it forever, because they've done this before. This is the template of the Nigerian army. They do these things and then they carry off all the bodies and say nothing happened, and families then will forever not be able to say a final goodbye to their loved ones. But this now is that last bus stop for that particular activity, because of course this is the digital age. And another proviso, by the way, that a lot of people are not considering: there's a lot of satellite that monitors the world in the global space, and a lot of that satellite would have picked up what has happened, what had happened at Lekki toll gate. So it only takes enough of an international pressure for them to roll back the cameras to focus, because you see these international satellites that we talk about all the time, they are constantly and permanently recording what is going on in virtually every country in the world. So they just record and record, and it doesn't really add up to anything. It's just record and record. They don't use it for anything. But when the pressure is that much, they can go back to a space and time. It wouldn't even take them 30 minutes to bring up the data from that particular spot in Lagos. And Lagos, of course, is one of the premier cities of the world. Lagos is one of the 5 mega cities of the world. Lagos, Delhi, I think somewhere in Brazil, etc. They say mega cities is when you have a huge concentration of people within a geographical space. So Lagos is one of the mega cities in the world, one of the 5 to 7 mega cities in the world, and of course the focus of the satellites will be on Lagos. So there's no getting away from what these people did. The Lagos state government also said, according to Sanwo-Olu, the cameras were still rolling when these activities happened, and that was what gave, by the way, Sanwo-Olu the confidence to go on CNN to say that it was indeed the army that did it, because he had already seen the camera footage and he saw what transpired. This is why you see him so crestfallen anytime he's on television referencing this thing. So he's trying to extricate himself, of course, because of course he knows that the evidence will come out soon enough. But whatever the case is, we are now in this scenario, and this lawyer now has now fired the opening salvo. But this, of course, will be the epithet of the Buhari regime. Forever and a day, Buhari will be known as the toll gate massacrer, if there's such a word. If there's not such a word, then I'm inventing it now. Conversations in the comment section. TikTok. He may have. This is, by the way, before I even go to rounding off, this is the classic battle now between the pen and the sword. So the pen is mightier than the sword, is what people I've always said. So now Malam Buhari, he comes from that religious background of jihadism, and he controls all of the AK-47s within the Nigerian space, and he thinks then that that gives him the leverage to weigh down on the entirety of the Nigerian space, especially Yoruba and Igbo land. But Yoruba and Igbo land, we have always prided ourselves as being intellectually superior to the Malamis. So it is that intellectual superiority now that has come at a locked horns with this brutish force. So is it brutish force that will win through, or is it the intellect that we purport to have within the southern parts in Yoruba land and by extension the Igbo land that we win through? So this is where the dichotomy is, and the opening salvo has now been fired by this opportunist lawyer. But then, of course, as I said, this is just a precursor to a deluge of lawsuits that will come off the back of what happened at Lekki toll gate. Conversations in the comment section, TikTok, the clock is ticking. I'm pretty certain that Malam Buhari would not be handing over in 2023. I'm pretty certain of that. I think he'll be forced to resign or something. But whatever it is, I cannot see. I mean, I look to 2023 and look at Nigeria now and look at what this guy had done. Are we going to then say we'll forget what he has done now and then we just carry on and endure him for another 3 years? This is really where the question is. And that is the $1 million question requiring a $1 million answer. Whatever your thoughts are, come share them with me in the comment section. But before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me then in the comment section. Come tell me what you're making of this opening salvo that this obscure lawyer has fired. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace.